Hey everybody, it's Anthony Prichard. I'm here with Christian R. Long, and this is our first hangout together. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Christian and I agreed to get together on a HOA to talk about advanced forms of meditation.
Yes.
So I'll just let Christian introduce himself. He's the number one pranic healer in Denver.
To my knowledge, I'm actually the number one energy healer in Denver and the only full-time pranic healer in the state of Colorado, which hopefully over time we're going to get more pranic healers that are earning their entire income from alleviating the suffering of mankind all over the state of Colorado and ultimately the world. So thank you, Anthony, for having me on today. Any opportunity that I can share meditation, spirituality, pranic healing, or hatha yoga with anyone and everyone is always an honor that I'm humbled to be able to share that. And I, first of all, want to give all credit to my teacher, Grandmaster Togo Koksui, because without his tools, his technologies, and with his teachings, I really wouldn't have that much to discuss with you in
Mhm.
the sense of advanced meditation practices or techniques. So my meditation journey started pretty much, you could say officially started in 1999 when my body turned 19 years old. And I was working at one of the top Ayurvedic centers in the entire country called the Maharishi Ayurvedic Clinic in Lancaster, Massachusetts. And they said, everyone who works here, we want them to practice some kind of meditation, some form of quieting the mind. And I said, well, I'm always into personal development. I'm always in looking for an opportunity to become a better person, a better soul. So, okay, let's get after it. And my very first
Yeah.
time meditating, Anthony, I had this deep and profound stillness. And I remember coming out of my meditation practice, and my teacher at the time, Dr. Laura Wolf, or I'm sorry, Laura Wolf, she'd been doing this for 35 years. And I said, where did I go? And she said in her 35 years of doing this, she had never had someone have that experience without 5 to 10 years of regular practice, and I was having it my very first time. So I realized in that moment,
Mm.
I need to get more into this whole meditation and spirituality thing. So that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. Over the next 5 years, I practiced my transcendental meditation technique morning and evening, and at my peak, I was meditating about 4 to 6 hours a day.
Boom. That is quite a story, Christian. Thank you. And that's the reason that we came on was to talk about meditation. And myself, I'm in a meditation class right now, and so I thought, what a better opportunity than for us to talk about this together. I thought, here's a couple ways we could do it. We could talk about our own experiences with meditation. We could talk about the misconceptions that people have about meditation,
Sure.
the benefits of meditation, maybe some of the different styles or types of meditation, and even the history of meditation.
Hmm.
Because I think there are a lot of misconceptions, and there's a lot of misunderstandings of what is meditation. Is it prayer? Is it for uh, for the holy or the weird or the saints to do it, or can people like you and me just pick it up like you explained with your own personal story, coincidentally, and apply it to what they do for their life and for their business?
Hmm. Absolutely. I would recommend meditation for anyone and everyone, no matter what your age, your sex, your race, your economic, socioeconomic levels. I would recommend meditation for the entire planet, and ultimately, that's what I'm helping to the best of my abilities to help spread the message of meditation. And isn't it funny? I don't have his exact name in front of me because it's a difficult Asian name, so I apologize for not giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
But one of the, I think he was employee 147th of Google. He wrote a book called
Yeah.
Search Inside Yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
For
remember that.
yeah, and he was basically, an engineer for Google, and he started delving into mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness being aware of your thoughts, being aware of your feelings, and being
Hmm.
aware of your breathing. And he was so
Hmm.
fascinated by the results that he got just
Yeah.
practicing it kind of haphazardly that he goes, what if we took this to the next level and we developed an entire program and then launched that program throughout the entire Google network and company? And that's
Yeah.
exactly what he did. He wrote the book called Search Inside Yourself, and now this program is all over Google, and Google is using it for other companies all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a great story of how somebody at Google applied meditation, and I'm wearing this Google headband because my story is a little bit on the same path. I discovered meditation after I was in the lowest point of my life after a divorce at the age of 28 years old. I found myself being separated from the only person I'd ever been with intimately and who I had a 3-year-old child with. And all my future plans and dreams and everything, my identity was completely destroyed. And it was at that low point that I got to ask myself, what is it that I want? And what is it that only I want? Not that my parents want, not that my wife wants me to do, not that my society or the media wants me to do, not that my professors or teachers or coaches. What does Anthony want? And as I asked that question to myself more and more, I discovered this process of meditation. And it allowed me to listen to what the answer was that was coming up from inside Anthony. I don't know how to explain it, but I started to haphazardly apply it and use it in guided meditation, in maybe like walking meditation. Is there such a thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then now fast forward to today. I'm in this class called Technologies and Spirituality, and it's a class that's given at a Center for Spiritual Living church near me, and its basic claim is that if you take this class, we'll give you different tools and techniques that you can use to help you understand your own spirituality better, and meditation is a big one of that. That's the chapter I'm reading this month, and the misconceptions of meditation are that I don't have enough time to do it. I can't shut my mind down. Is it a mystical practice? Is it for the holy, the weird, or the saints? It's boring. It's about running away from my life. It's for selfish people. What other misconceptions do people have about meditation?
One that I have been hearing for at least the past 10 years, and I've been teaching meditation for probably about 13 years at this point. The biggest misconception that people have about meditation is when I sit and close my eyes, all thoughts and all feelings should go away, right? That's the ultimate objective as they see it within meditation. And the interesting thing to that, Anthony, is that is a byproduct of a proper meditation practice, to have less thoughts, less emotions, and to be able to still your mind and hear the whispers of your higher soul, that guidance system that you're talking about of like, why is Anthony here? What does Anthony want to accomplish versus what does the rest of the world want me to accomplish for them or for their agenda, for their purposes? Yeah. So people think that meditation is about stilling the mind and calming the emotions. That is a byproduct. You don't go in with the intention of I'm going to have no thoughts and no feelings and no emotions, etc. And the other thing is, Anthony, do you play any kind of instrument at all?
Growing up, I played the trombone.
The trombone, okay. So out of all the people, like, who is the best trombone player that you can think of, like the historical figure of trombone?
I wasn't into it that big, buddy.
Not that big. All right. Is it fair to say there are experts out there in the trombone world?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is it also fair to say the very first time they picked up a trombone that they could play like an expert level practitioner?
Oh no.
Exactly. But people have that misconception about meditation that the first time they sit down and close their eyes and practice the meditation, that they're supposed to have inner peace, inner stillness, and joy like that of a Zen monk in the Himalayas that has been practicing it regularly for several decades. It's not realistic. So people kind of put a lot of pressure on themselves to be experts right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, what would you say is the best thing for somebody to start out with then, so that they're not in over their head, they're not overwhelmed, and it's enough information at just the right time so that they can start to ease into this practice?
Yeah, for sure. Now, keep in mind, I'm a little bit biased because the meditation practice that I've been doing for the past 11 years has been the Twin Hearts meditation, pranic healing meditations, and then Arhatic yoga, all from one teacher called, his name being Grandmaster Choa Stui. And it's very interesting, we were talking about at the beginning, is that there are many, many different types of meditations and different purposes for every kind of meditation.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. So there is a type of meditation called bhakti yoga or bhakti meditations. And bhakti means devotion. It means seeing your relationship with God as very intimate, as very personal, and you're seeing your relationship with God as the beloved. So you're connecting with God more on an emotional level than on a mental level. So certain people, that is their chosen path to connect to God, like Sufism is the path of the bhakti yogi, the path of devotion, right? So we know the poet Rumi. So Rumi was what would be considered as a bhakti yogi. But then you have people who you could consider that are more mentally developed, and they resonate with thinking processes towards God. So that would be something like Raja Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So those yogas are where people are trying to deeply penetrate the reality of consciousness using their mental body and instead of using their emotional body. That doesn't make Raja Yoga better or Bhakti Yoga better as a path to getting to know God, but it's what do you resonate with initially and then following that path. And as I was taught in Arhatic Yoga, which is a synthesis of many forms of spiritual practices and meditations, is that in order to be a well-rounded, well-balanced soul, it's recommended to do many different things that develop your emotional body, your mental body, your ability to focus and have concentration, while at the same time developing your ability to have awareness, receptivity. So the path I would suggest a lot of people start off with, that even to this day I'm still practicing, is the Twin Hearts meditation. And why do I say the Twin Hearts meditation? Well, it's very simple, it's very powerful, it's guided. So people that are very that have a hard time, quote unquote, turning off the monkey mind, it gives their mind something to focus on. And after 20 minutes, people will generally feel physically empowered, emotionally calm, mentally alert, and spiritually fed, as though they connected their little self to their higher self.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying then is that people should maybe do a little meditation shopping, but don't get worried if you run into one that kind of weirds you out a little bit, because there's a lot of different types of it. And one that you offer on a weekly basis in downtown Denver, which is one I have gone to with you before, is the Twin Hearts meditation. So I just wanted to go over in my book real quick some of the different types of meditation, and then I'll let you chime in on what you think about these that are in my book here.
Okay.
The body scan meditation, walking meditation, which I mentioned earlier. Mindfulness meditation is where you stop the restlessness of your mind by focusing on undivided attention on whatever you're experiencing in the here and now. There's labyrinth meditation, and this was the actual style of meditation that I was practicing last night. I took a few pictures of this. I thought this would be interesting to look at. So this is what the labyrinth looks like, and it's about, it's in this huge room that's like 50 by 50 feet, and we just walk around it in the pattern, and you lose track of what you're worrying about, and you're told to kind of allow that process of walking to let you relax. Centering prayer, I guess, is a type of one. Pronounced Dzogchen meditation, Sufi meditation, incite meditation, transcendental meditation. Now this one's a big one. 20 minutes each day, and there has been a lot of scientific research done on transcendental meditation. Over 350 research studies have been conducted at more than 250 universities and medical schools, including Harvard, UCLA, and Stanford. Did you know that?
Yeah, I actually started my spiritual practice with transcendental meditation in 1999. So I practiced that form for 5 years. That's when I was attending the university in Fairfield, Iowa. And transcendental meditation would be what's considered mantra meditation or mantra yoga, where you're using a specific sound that creates a certain effect within the physiology. So there are sounds or mantras that you can use for protection, that you can use for healing purposes, that you can use for prosperity, that you can use for good fortune or good luck.
Yeah.
There are many different types of mantras that one can chant that has a certain effect within their energy body and physical body.
Great. Okay. Well, I've heard mantras before, and I've practiced them. It's kind of like the 70 times 70 routine, where if you continue to say I am one, or I am prosperous, or I am physically healthy, then your body will begin to believe it, and you'll experience a healthier body, for example. Is that right?
Yes, that's one level of it, for sure.
So what's the difference between a mantra and a mudra?
A mantra is a sound that one chants verbally or silently, and a mudra is a hand position that one does to change the flow of energy within the body. So for instance, we see the Dalai Lama do this a lot.
Yeah.
With his hands on his heart. This is called a prayer mudra, not a prayer mantra. And then a mantra would be like the primordial sound Om, or Amen, or Amin.
I've seen this one too, like a lotus flower or something. Is that right?
Yeah. So here's a tip from my teacher, Grandmaster Choa. If you look at any yoga book, Yoga Journal magazine, or Yoga Studio, you will see a lot of yogis doing this mudra, taking the thumb and the pointer finger and putting them together like this. What this is called is the chin mudra. Chin mudra. But if you are having financial problems, financial difficulties, you do not want to do this mudra because it affects energy in the lower chakras that affects your prosperity. Do not do this mudra if you are having financial challenges or difficulties. Master Choa also calls this the no money mudra.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so it says that all religions have, in the past, studied their own style of meditation, and I thought, in the next 8 minutes before we close out here, I'd just run over these really quickly. The Vedic tradition, that's the Indian style of meditation, that's the most historical or the oldest, next to shamanic style meditation. Buddhism has their own style. 2nd century Christian meditation. Jewish meditation. Not a lot written on that one. But also Saint Teresa of Avila. And you mentioned some that aren't even in this book, so I imagine there's so many different types that we could have a whole novel.
Oh, easily. The topic of meditation and spirituality has been talked about for thousands of years, so I don't think we're going to be able to cut very deep into it in a 30-minute interview. But every major religion has their own form of meditation and spiritual practices, and the teachings that are taught to the general public within all the major religions is what's called exoteric teachings. EXO, exoteric teachings. Those are like the main truths of in Christianity. It is in the giving that we receive, right? That's a main teaching, but there are many, many levels to the main teaching, and the teachings that are hidden, where the real power behind the meditation practice is called esoteric or esoteric teachings, and that means that which is hidden. So all the close disciples of any of the great founders of any of the major religions, their closest disciples were the ones who received the esoteric teachings because they had the most power and energy behind them. So if an ordinary person was to practice a very, very advanced meditation and not be prepared, it could destroy their financial lives, their relationships, their physical health, and it could even end their physical incarnation prematurely. So those meditation practices were only reserved for the apostles, disciples, adepts, and advanced yogis and practitioners. So a lot of people on the spiritual path, Anthony, want to rush into things. They go, I want to become enlightened now.
Mm-hmm.
Enlightenment, there are many levels of enlightenment or awakening. And I remember a good friend of mine, I asked him, how would you define enlightenment? And he says, easy, the absence of fear.
Yeah.
The absence of fear is a level of enlightenment. So there are many different forms of meditation practices, many forms of spirituality that all the major religions practice. And it's basically, you just have to ask yourself the question, what is it that you're wanting more of in your life? Are you wanting the ability to focus better? Are you wanting the ability to have more inner peace? Are you wanting the ability to serve others? What is it that you're seeking? And find the school, the religion, the mystery school, the spiritual practice that will give you the ability to enliven that within your system.
Fantastic. It just shows how powerful this modality of centering, of just getting quiet is. And the nice thing about this book that I've got here is that it gives us 4 basic elements to traditional meditation. So if somebody was just to experiment and want to do this themselves for the first time, this might be a way, and I'll let you elaborate on this after I give the 4 traditional meditation elements. 1, a quiet place where you're not going to get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
2, a comfortable, poised posture. 3, an object to dwell on. And 4, a passive attitude or poised awareness and attention towards the larger universe, I guess. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so you're actually using 2 different forms of meditation practices within those 4 points. So having an object to focus on is called concentration meditation. So you have an object. It could be a picture of Lord Jesus, Lord Buddha. It could be a picture of your child. It could be something that you're trying to work on or figure out in your life, maybe a problem or a solution you're looking for. So that's you taking your consciousness and your energy and focusing it to a single point. Then the 4th part within the 4th step, you said, and then being aware of what's going on. So that's the exact opposite energy. One is you're bringing it to a central point, trying to understand that thing very, very deeply. Then the other one is opening up your awareness to knowing what your physical body is doing, what your energy body is doing, what your breathing is doing, what the next door neighbors are doing. That is called Zen meditation or Dhyan meditation, awareness. So a lot of people that are listening to this are probably familiar with Eckhart Tolle, the power of now, right?
Yeah.
What he talks about is awareness meditation. It's being present to what is going on, not having thoughts, not having feelings, but just being aware of the present moment. That's not concentration. That's not focus. So if you're trying to solve a problem, you want to have concentration skills developed versus awareness skills developed. And then having a clean place is good. Having a clean place, organized place is very good for the first step. And then what was the second step of the 4-step process?
It is a comfortable posture.
Yes. Having a straight back is very important because it allows energy, Kundalini energy, to flow up and down the spine unimpeded. So if you're hunching or you have a crick in your back or you're laying in an uncomfortable chair, the energy is not going to be flowing up and down the spine as smoothly as it could if you had a straight back.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, thank you for your expertise and your wisdom here today, Christian. We've got a couple minutes left, so I just want to let people know how they can get in touch with you if they're here in Colorado or if they're anywhere in the world.
Sure. So if anyone is looking to work with me for energy healing purposes, I can absolutely 100% assist you in that process, whether it's face-to-face at my home office in Denver or it's over Skype or Google Hangouts, because I have people that see me face-to-face throughout the week, but I also have clients all over the world. My furthest client is actually in Dubai, the Saudi Arabia area, and we open up my Skype, her Skype, we see each other, and I do the protocol that she hired before. Very good at what I do. I have a very high success rate with the clients that I work with. I think I'm running about 85% right now. But if you are looking to work with me, you can go to christianrlong.com, christianrlong.com, and you can see my scheduler and a little red button on the right-hand side. You click that, it opens up my calendar. You find a time that works mutually for the both of us, and then let's get it done. Let me heal you in any way that I can.
Great. Yeah, and I know I've come to you for some healings, and it's a first-time experience that I think everybody should attempt, whether they think it's going to work or not. I think it's like you got to try everything in this life once, because you only got one shot, so you might as well give it everything a try.
Yeah, I like your enthusiasm. I like your openness, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to add value to your network as well as to my network by creating this interview, and I hope it impacts the lives of many, many people for many, many years to come.
Great. Well, then guess I'll just end the show by saying that my meditation path led me to becoming a Google partner. I asked myself, what did I want to do? Well, I wanted to help people get found. I wanted to enableize them to generate an interest in a product or a service that they represent, because that was my profession at the time. I was in sales, and I really liked that. And I thought that that was so interesting, that how business could take an investment into this value that would help other people solve their problems. And that's what led me to become a Google partner, and that's what I do today. I empower small business to fix previously failed online marketing attempts with video. And to find me, you can just search my name, Anthony Prichard, and you'll find me and my many colorful forms of works that I've published on the internet. So, thanks, Christian, for the great hangout on air. I'll see you around the neighborhood, buddy. Woo!